Welcome back to Success with Steven. My name is Steven Smith. On this channel, we talk about all things financial literacy. And today we're going to be talking about Navy Federal auto loans, but business auto loans. And I was approved for a $35,000 business auto loan with no money down and, of course, no documentation. And I'm going to be going over a step-by-step guide to show you how you can also get approved for this loan. Now, this came as a question from someone who was interested in getting a business loan. In particular, they were interested in getting a business auto loan for Navy Federal. So I didn't really have as many data points as I wanted. So I decided, why not just go ahead and apply and then document exactly what happened and exactly how long it took and what the requirements were in order to get approved for this loan. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. So if you want to know how to open a business account with Navy Federal, I do have a step-by-step guide. It's about 20 to 30 minutes in length, but I'll literally take you from the process of grabbing all the information from your business to then going on to Navy Federal, how to fill it out, exactly what to expect from the phone call. You will need to speak with someone, and I give you a brief overview of some businesses that are actually restricted. There are a few types of businesses that if you have them and you mention it, you will not be able to get approved for this account. You also cannot have a restricted LLC. As far as I know, this is something that is in Nevada, so I don't think it'll apply to most places, but just keep that in mind. You cannot have a restricted LLC. Now, let's actually go to the Navy Federal website. I want to give you some information on the accounts that we're going to be looking at. So this is the business checking and savings accounts. I just want to briefly go through these. There are a few different options for the checking accounts, the business checking, the plus, and the premium. It'll be up to you to decide. I'll give you my recommendation later on in the video. You also should open a savings account. I'm going to make a recommendation for this as well. I'm not going to go over these as I do in that other video that I mentioned, but be my guest to go here, check on this. Depending on the time that you're watching this video, this information may or may not have changed. And then this may already be a self-explanatory answer, but you do need to be a member of Navy Federal in order to actually open this account. You cannot open this account if you are not already a member, which means you do need to have a personal account set up with Navy Federal first before you're able to open a business account. So make sure that you do that beforehand, and then you're able to open up the business account. Now let's talk about the auto loan approval steps. Now there's 4 steps that I think you should do prior to applying for this auto loan. The first thing is, of course, you already have to be a member of Navy Federal, but I recommend that you open up a premium checking account. That's going to be the Navy Federal flagship, also having a savings account. If you don't already have some additional products with Navy Federal, like a pledge loan, a certificate, anything like that, I recommend opening up those types of accounts. It will help your internal score. There's plenty of playlists that I have on Navy Federal where I talk about this, how to strengthen your internal score and how to get a pledge loan or certificate. So if you want to watch that video, check out the playlist. Now, when you open up that business account, that should also be the premium one. So I recommend opening up the business premium checking. You want to always have the premium accounts whenever you open up anything with Navy Federal. And you also want to make sure that you always have a savings account as well. I recommend having the money market savings. Now, again, this will help increase your approval odds. It'll also help increase your internal scores. And if you do have the business account right now, I recommend that you get their business credit card. All of these things can help strengthen your relationship. I do have a business credit card with Navy Federal right now. So if you can apply for those things, I recommend that you do it. I also would recommend setting up an ACH transfer for your account. So monthly deposits that go into your account showing that you have a lot of business activity. It doesn't have to be a lot of money. And if you do have some type of business or you get an ACH deposit, I recommend doing so. If you don't, it's okay to make occasional transfers. It doesn't have to be that much. It can be around $25 and you can do that every 2 weeks. I would at least do $500 in the account to begin with. That's going to be inside of the premium checking and also inside of the money market savings, and just leave that there. You can also wait 60 days before applying. Now, this is with an asterisk. If you have a very high credit score with no derogatory information and you don't want to wait, then you can skip this step. But if you have a lower credit score, let's say 680, 670, and you want to just give yourself a better chance of approval, then it's imperative that you nurture this account. I don't recommend just applying for something right after opening it. Have some transactions go through, leave some money in the account, let some statements actually close, showing that there was activity, showing that there was money that was actually in the account. And if you can wait up to 90 days, I think that would be best. Take baby steps in order to build this relationship. That way you can get the best interest rate and you can also get better approval odds. Now, I took a screenshot directly from the Navy Federal website. This is going to be the loan that you want to apply for. There's two different ones. There's the business vehicle loan. That's for small business owners who need reliable transportation. And that's going to be SUVs, maybe light duty trucks or regular cars. Now, if you have a larger size vehicle that you're looking for, there is a commercial loan where the minimum loan amount is $40,000. I believe that the minimum for this one was $10,000. Now, here's some highlights. There are no fees. There are no prepayment penalties. You can review the Carfax vehicle history, so you can buy with confidence. And again, best for cars, best for light duty trucks, best for SUVs. And here are the things that you'll need to apply. You will need the purchase invoice buyer's order to include the year, make, model, mileage, the VIN, and sales price. This is not the internet print off. That's not accepted. Now, this purchase invoice you can actually get from the dealer. All you have to do is contact them, let them know your intention is to purchase this vehicle through your credit union, and it's going to be with your business. You want them to draft this up for you, and you'll need to upload this later on in the process. You will need the mileage statement if you're refinancing, payoff statement if you're refinancing, a personal guarantee, which we will go over, a personal credit check. Same thing, but if anything were to happen or you were to default on this, then you would be responsible for it. So it would get reported to your personal credit. And a certificate of insurance with Navy Federal listed as loss payee upon approval. And then there's a note here that lets you know the definition of business vehicles, and they are defined as all passenger vehicles that are used for business purposes and or titled in the business name. And this includes, but not limited to, again, cars, SUVs, light duty trucks. Excluded are fleet vehicles, fare-paying passenger vehicles, RVs, buses, over-the-road trucks, trailers, dump trucks, and other heavy-duty construction vehicles. So if you're looking at that type of vehicle, you want to do the commercial vehicle loan. You're not going to be doing this loan. So just make sure that you select this one and your vehicle meets the criteria. That way you don't have to submit multiple applications or have it withdrawn. Now, here are the data points. They do a credit pull from Experian. It's going to be your FICO 8 score as far as I can see. Since I didn't get a letter in the mail, I can't confirm if they did a auto loan like a FICO 2, but I do know that they look at your FICO 8. Now, I recommend that you have a FICO 8 score of at least 680 or beyond that. My score at the time of application was a 753 FICO 8 score. You also should not have any derogatory information, no collections, no charge-offs, no late payments, anything like that. Now, my business age was 2 years and 4 months. This was a business that I no longer use. This has been dissolved already, but it's the account that I opened with Navy Federal, and I actually got approved for my Navy Federal credit card, the business credit card, with this account. So I never changed it or opened a new account for my current business. I do not think that age was a factor when it came to getting the approval. I think if you have a business that is at least active for 3 months where you can find it on the Secretary of State, then you should be fine. And my account age was 1 year and 11 months because I've had this account for a little bit of time. The balance maintained in this account overall was only $500. I never left a lot of money in this account. There were a lot of transactions that happened. I would say probably like at least $5,000 going in and out of this account and then being transferred to other accounts in 1 month. My utilization overall from all the limits that I have was around 12% at the time of applying. And I only had one hard inquiry at the time that I applied, and some additional data points, but this should, go without saying. There were no documents that were asked of me except for commercial insurance and the purchase invoice, which you would get once you actually got the car from the dealership. Those are things that you're going to have to upload to the Navy Federal Business Portal, which we will go over later on towards the end of the video. Now, all of these data points kind of match up very closely to what you have. Then I think that you are ready to apply. If you don't have a business portal account, when you do log in, you have to log in with your personal information, not the business one. I know it's weird, but whenever you apply for anything with Navy Federal, you log in with the personal for the business. All right. So let's get over there and let's apply. All right. So this is the Business Solutions Portal. This is where I've applied for the auto loan. As you can see here, lending business vehicle loan. It was booked at the beginning. Then it was the application. That's where I did that. Underwriting, reviewed it, and then approved. I submitted this, I believe, on Thursday. And today is Monday. So it really took around 3 business days for this to be approved. And we're still in the process of the approval because there is closing, and then booked is when everything is completed. Another thing I want to point out here is the amount of the loan. It's actually $34,110. I just rounded it up to the highest amount. The loan term is 48 months and the interest rate is 7.69%. And that's at the time of recording this video. If you're watching this later down the line, you may get a much better rate. Now, when you go to the marketplace, it has all of the lending and business options that you can click from. You'll want to look for lending business vehicle loan. And remember, if you were looking for the commercial one, there's one for that one as well. And that is right here, lending commercial vehicle loan. That's for your trailers, your heavy duty vehicles, your semi tractors, things like that. But let's go to this one and apply now. So when you go here, it's going to have your business information. So you do not have to put that in. You'll just click on apply with this business. Once that happens, you'll be met with the electronic communications. All you have to do is check that you have reviewed that, and then you can click on next. Now, here's the beneficial ownership information. It's going to have all of your personal information, which I'm going to block this out because it has my social, my zip code, my city, state, my address, my date of birth, everything. And then it also has the business information. So you're not going to see this, but just know that all that information will auto-populate. You will not have to fill that out. If you scroll down, then you'll be asked to enter your business role. You can put owner, president, whatever your role is. If it's something other than that, just put other, not listed, but I selected owner. And then you're going to look at the certifications. I certify that other than myself, no other individual has any responsibility, significant or otherwise, to manage the daily operation of the legal entity named herein. So if there's no one else who owns or operates this business, then certify yes. And then I certify that other than myself, no other individual directly or indirectly through any contract, arrangement, understanding, relationship, or otherwise owns 25% or more equity interest in the legal entity named herein. So if it's just you, no one else owns any part of this business, or at least less than 25%, then you'll want to check that. And then check here that you certify to the best of your knowledge that the information is complete and correct. Now, for the loan information here, you're going to put the loan amount that you're asking for. I put in $50,000 because I wanted to make sure there would be enough to cover the vehicle. If it's not enough to cover the vehicle, then you will have to put up the rest of the money. But if it does, then there's no money down because the entire amount of that vehicle will then be financed. Now you want to put whatever amount that you're looking for, and then the loan purpose. Is it purchase and acquisition? If you're buying a vehicle from a dealer, that's the one that you're looking at. If you're refinancing a vehicle, then you want to select that. Or you're refinancing from another financial institution, then you'll want to do that. Then you'll pick the loan term. It can be as low as 36 months, as high as 72. The longer that you put this out, the higher the interest rate. The lower you put this out, the lower the rate. So keep that in mind. Of course, the lower the amount, the higher that the note will be per month. You'll then put the purchase vehicle price. So the loan amount I put was $50,000. I would enter the vehicle price including taxes. If you don't know that, pull up the vehicle, enter in that information, and then go from there. Because if you don't want to pay taxes or any additional fees, you'll need to include that in the purchase price of that vehicle. Here you'll want to enter your gross annual income. This is going to be for personal income. You'll also want to enter your monthly housing expenses. If you have none, then you can put 0, and then your housing type, whether you rent or whether you own. If your business has any assets, you'll want to include them here. Depending on what you have, it might be used as collateral in order for you to get a larger amount. But if you don't have anything, then just click on next. If you have any business debts that are outstanding, they're asking for you to enter that information here. If you don't have any information to enter, then you can just click on next. Now for collateral information here, they're asking you to enter the vehicle. They're asking you to enter the mileage of the vehicle, the manufacturer, the model, and the VIN number. Now, this information is required for you to enter. You do need to know the vehicle that you're trying to get before you're able to complete the application. So you'll want to enter all that information in here, and then you'll want to click on next. This screen is the business income and equal credit opportunity notice. This is going to be you disclosing whether or not your business made less than $1 million in the previous fiscal year. So if Navy Federal denies your application, you have the right to a statement of the specific reason for your denial. And then you're going to be able to obtain this statement from Navy Federal, and you'll get that within 60 days from the date that you were notified of the decision. Now, this is good to know if you're denied, because then you'll be able to make some appropriate changes, or you can contact them and speak with underwriting. Maybe they can change their decision based off of some new information that you have to provide. So no, we didn't make $1 million in the last fiscal year, especially if this is a brand new business. And then you'll click on next. Now we're almost at the very end. Here are the certifications and disclosures. Now, I'm going to just stop it right here, because even if we go through here, it's just letting you know of a personal guarantee, the statutory lien, additional security interest, and then all of these things that you have to consent to. After that, you need to do your signature, and then you review and submit. Now that we've pretty much gone through the entire vehicle application, let's go back to the Business Solution Center, and then we'll take a look at the documents that were required. So there was actually one more thing I wanted to pull up before going back to the Business Solution Center. This was the vehicle loan amount that I was approved for, conditionally approved. I have to provide some documentation, which we'll go over now, for 48 months, and it lets you know out-of-pocket expense. So you will be responsible for payment of the difference between the approved loan amount and the final purchase. That's if it's applicable to you. So funds should be posted and available in the business savings account. So once you get all of the documents that are required and the business loan amount has been closed on, you'll receive it in your savings account. So you're going to actually have the money to go ahead and actually pay for the vehicle. And then the loan will actually get sent to Navy Federal, because they're going to be the custodians of this account. So please note, final approval amount subject to change based on verification of purchase order or bill of sale. So that's just letting you know that the final amount that you may see may vary after they see the bill of sale on this particular car. To accept and move forward with this offer, please use your personal credentials to log into the secured portal. That's where we're going to go back to. And then they need a copy of the purchase agreement in your business name. This is something you're going to get from the dealer. The dealer has to provide you with an agreement. It's just saying that you have both agreed that this is the vehicle that you're going to be purchasing, and they're going to be doing it in your business name. And then the commercial certificate of insurance, that's the insurance that you're going to get for the vehicle. You need to take this information, upload it to the portal, and then you'll be able to close on the vehicle. Once that process is completed, you'll be able to get the funds into your savings account, and that's going to be by the next business day. All right. So you need to gather all this information, and the insurance will need to be in your company name, not your personal name. And it must list the deductible, which cannot exceed $1,000. And it must list the vehicle identification number, the VIN number, and the policy must be effective on or before the closing date. All right. You must list Navy Federal as the loss payee lien holder and include the following loss payee clause: lender's loss payee, Navy Federal Credit Union, and then you'll enter the address. And you want to reply to the email that they send you with the email address that you actually put on the application or that's associated with your business account. And once received, they will schedule the closing and the next steps, and the requested documents must be received within 15 days of the date of the email. Otherwise, the lending request will be withdrawn. You are also assigned a lending representative that you can contact. I'm going to block out the information for mine at this time, and that is it. So let's go back to the portal one more time, just so you can see how you would upload those documents. So the document that you'll need to upload is going to be the purchase order. That's required for purchases only, not for refinancing. The purchase order, again, must list your business as the buyer, not you. And then you'll need the sales contract that you'll get from the dealer, the vehicle insurance, which you should be able to get by getting a quote and then just saving that for the day that you want it to actually go into effect. The payoff statement, that's required for refinances only. So if it doesn't apply to you, don't worry, just ignore that. And then the purchase order, and that's something that because I did a second application, now it's showing that I need it 2 times. But that is all that you'll need. So you'll go here, you'll upload that information. And unfortunately, I'm not going to complete this, so I won't be able to show you what happens with closing, but it's been pretty laid out for us what to expect once you upload all of these documents. All right, thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully this helped you get some great insight and detail on data points and the process of how you would get a business auto loan through Navy Federal. I would say this is probably just as easy, if not easier, than my experience with the personal loan. Well, in my experience, this was definitely easier because I made some mistakes, but it was a very straightforward, easy process. Didn't take more than a couple of days. You got your rate, you got your approval, and then you have an idea about what you could do. I don't think the interest rate is competitive by any means. I definitely think that there are some better options, but if you did want to get your business vehicle with Navy Federal, then at least you know the steps that you need to take and maybe some expectations of what you can get for interest rates at the time of recording. Now, as things change, there may be better rates that you can actually get with your business vehicle, and maybe you want to look at this as an option in the future. Or if you find these rates to be very competitive right now, then you can go ahead and apply for that. And if the data points and everything line up with you, then, hopefully you get approved, and then you're able to get this vehicle, close on it fairly quickly, and it just be a very, very smooth process. If you have any additional questions, please drop a comment below. I should be able to answer those. I did want to actually speak with the specialist that did get this done just to get a couple more data points. So if you do have any additional questions I did not answer in the video, I may have the answer for you in the next couple of days. Again, thank you so much for watching this video, and you guys have a wonderful day.